Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Shannon, and I just wanted to talk about my first month experience driving with Uber. I was a bit hesitant, at first, and I just didn't know what to quite make of it. I knew I wanted to do it, but I just really wasn't sure how to get started. And I had some, concerns or whatever, but I got into it, and, so far I love it. Now, I watched some videos prior to taking my first trip. I had already been, you know, signed up with the app and was able to accept trips and everything. And I just didn't have enough nerve to push that blue go button and accept my first trip. I had to do some due diligence, and I did that. Got on YouTube, pulled up some videos just to kind of, hear what other experienced drivers had to say and things like that. One thing I noticed is that when I went through the comments, is that there were quite a lot of people who had done the same thing. They had signed up, for on the app and just didn't have, really what it took to, have enough nerve to hit that go button, go online and accept their first trip. And it's scary. I will admit that it's very scary because, we've heard stories in the news, Uber drivers being attacked. We've heard of passengers who have, you know, been assaulted, heard of a young lady who was assaulted and unalived by an Uber driver. And those things do happen. Obviously, they have happened. They happen, but on a much larger scale, incidents like those, when you consider the number of drivers across the platform, the number of trips that they're taking, and the number of passengers that they're picking up, fortunately, those severe type incidents are in the minority. So that's good. So we have to look at the whole picture, the bigger picture. And, people are people, things are going to happen. And that's just kind of what it is. And we just have to protect ourselves as best we can. But for those of you that are hesitant to accept your first trip, I have some tips for you. And I had to, you know, come to this realization to get up my own nerve to start. And the first tip is realize that people are people. Your passengers are people. They're people, they're human, just like you. And they're just trying to get to where they're going, right? You know, rideshare is a lot like public transportation, but in your personal vehicle. Maybe it was a little easier for me because I have a public transportation background. I was in public transportation for 10 years. And so I kind of had to go back to that, like, okay, I've done this just not in my personal vehicle. I've transported so many people over the years across different modes of city transportation. And I just had to use that to just to kind of feel a little feel a little bit easier about accepting my first trip. So for those of you that have any type of public transportation background, just think about when you were driving that bus or driving that train or driving even like the shuttle for the airport or a hotel or a rental car place or whatever, kind of use that. Those people getting on your bus, you didn't know them either. They didn't know you, so you can use that for those of you that have a public transportation background. Try not to make it more than what it is. Second thing is you are in your car. You are in your own personal car. So you are at home. Passengers are your guests. So relax. Play your music that you like. If you don't like to, play music, if you have a radio station that you like to listen to, have it on your radio station. If you like gospel, play gospel. If you like sports radio, listen to sports radio. You are in your car. Make yourself at home. And when you're relaxed, your guests, your passengers will be relaxed. And what more could you ask for is that everyone be relaxed. The third thing is to realize is that there is equal risk between yourself and your passengers. And what I mean by that is you're both strangers. You are a stranger to the passenger is a stranger to you. After doing this for a little over a month, I have only picked up the same person one time. Everyone else is new. Granted, I don't drive every day. I still have a regular job that I work, and this is something that I just do in the morning for a couple hours. And so I'm not getting a whole lot of people. I probably, the most trips I've done in a day so far is probably like 4. And that's had me out for probably about 2 hours roughly, which is good for me because, you know, I have another job to go to. And so I'm not trying to do a whole lot of ripping and running. But just keep that in mind that it's about as level as a playing field as it gets in regards to both of you not knowing each other. You know, they're on guard, you're on guard, and that's, that's just really what it is. It's not you taking on, in certain aspects, so much more risk than the passenger. They don't know if you're crazy, you don't know if they're crazy. So, you know, that's kind of something that can help ease the uneasiness, at least for me. It's like, well, hey, they're taking the risk getting in my vehicle too because they don't know me either. So that kind of helped me feel a little better about the situation. And, just overall, I would just say when you're doing this, try not to take yourself so serious. Be professional, be pleasant. Um, Most of my passengers, out of everyone that I've had, I've really only had 3 passengers that were chatty. Everyone else, they get in, they're going to work. I've got some high school kids, they're going to school. They don't talk, besides, the initial greeting when they enter into my vehicle. They're not saying anything. They're on, which is fine by me because I listen to my music, I listen to the radio station that I like to listen to in the morning, and they're on their phones. They're having their conversations, or they're looking at TikTok, or they're texting. Some of them are getting, one young lady, she kind of dozed off the other day, and that could be a good sign. She was going to work. That could be a good sign, and maybe she felt, that comfortable with me to, I know she was tired or whatever, but there are some people that it doesn't matter. Like, I'm in a car with a stranger. I don't know this person. I'm not, I'm going to make sure I stay woke throughout the ride, but that could have been an indication that she was just that comfortable, and I was giving her a smooth ride. I don't have the volume up too loud. I try to keep the volume pretty balanced, low enough to where I can hear it. And also, if I have to ask the passenger a question, if they have to ask me a question, or if they have to tell me something, that I can hear them without having to turn it down. That's just how I do. It's at your discretion when you actually get out there, how you want the level to be, or whatever you're playing in your vehicle. So those are my 4 main tips for those of you that are hesitant to get out there. Also too, here's another one. Know why you're doing it. If this is something that you're looking to do full time because maybe you're in between jobs or whatever, then you have to keep your overall objective in mind and not let anything discourage you or scare you. I'm just doing it part time just to kind of fill it out, but I also have some things that I need to do financially that I don't want to use my regular job pay for. I want to make a little extra so that I can use that to pay for what it is that I need to do. And once I get an idea in my head, I got to get it done. And so that helped propel me to get out here and accept my first trip too. It's like, wait a minute, I don't have time to be worried about these people because I need to get this money because I got some things to do with it and it needs to get done. So that's another thing. Know why you're doing it. Why are you signing up for rideshare? It doesn't have to be Uber, Lyft. There are other apps. There are other companies out there that, specialize in medical transportation, to where you're picking up mainly seniors and getting them to their doctor's appointments, dialysis. what have you. Know why you're doing it and stay focused on that. And everything else will take care of itself. Passengers are pretty much in their own worlds, and they're just trying to get to where they're trying to go. And so it's really as simple as that. So go ahead on. I'm enjoying it. I love it actually. I really do. Because I'm just the type of person, I just, I don't, I've never worked an office job. I like to be out. I like flexibility. So for those of you that, a little, hesitant to accept your first trip, go ahead on and accept your first trip. I'll see y'all in the next video.